So it's that time of the year where we're about to go on a summer escape to our favourite European city. But you may want to think twice about some of these locations, because these are some of the most overloaded cities in Europe that you may want to avoid during this summer. And let me tell you, these are just 10 of them. So we start this video with number 10, Tallinn in Estonia. And it is one of the most overloaded cities in Europe. Known for its beautifully preserved medieval town, and Tallinn attracts quite a number of tourists, especially relative to its population, with at least 10 tourists for every local resident. And that's during the peak summer season. So you can imagine the narrow cobblestone streets and all the historic sites can become quite crowded between the months of June to August. So if you want to experience Tallinn's charm without the crowds, then I would consider visiting in late April or early October. Number 9 is surprisingly Dublin Ireland. One of the most overloaded cities in Europe. It's known for its rich history, its lively pubs, and 100% guaranteed its friendly atmosphere. But it sees around at least 11 tourists per local during the peak summer months. So you can imagine the busy streets, particularly around Temple Bar and Grafton Street, it can become quite congested, especially from June to August. So if you want more of a relaxing time in Ireland, of course you can go to a different part of the country, which I've just made a video on that, or I would go to Dublin in early May or late September. And also to be wary about, Dublin is suffering from a lot of local issues with mass immigration at the moment, so you may want to visit other parts of the country. Number 8 is no surprise, Amsterdam Netherlands. Renowned for its picturesque canals to historic museums that I never really go to, but definitely a vibrant nightlife. This city draws so many visitors every year, but sadly there's at least 12 tourists for every local resident, especially during the summer months. But the city's unique charm can feel overshadowed by the huge crowds of tourists. So if you want to enjoy Amsterdam's beauty without the crowds, I would suggest you visit in early May or late September again. The city is far less busier, and you can always enjoy all the major attractions like the Van Gogh Museum and the very popular Anne Frank House without those incredibly long queues. Number 7 might surprise you. It's Heracleion in Greece, and it's one of the most overloaded cities in Europe, known for its fascinating history and its proximity to the legendary palace of Knossos. There are huge crowds each summer, so the city sees at least 15 tourists per local resident during those peak months, which can make all the charming streets and trying to visit those archaeological sites feel incredibly crowded and overwhelming. You'd probably think Athens would be more crowded, but it has a population of at least 3 million compared to Heracleion's 180,000. So try to visit in late April or even October, because there's still warm weather and there are far easier chances to explore Crete's rich heritage and all the wonderful archaeological sites. Number 6, Florence. It's one of the most crowded cities that I've ever been. Famous for its breathtaking Renaissance art and its architecture, including the iconic Duomo and the Uffizi Gallery. But Florence, as you can easily imagine, experiences a tourist to resident ratio that often feels overwhelming, with at least 17 tourists for every resident during the peak season. And those narrow streets, especially near the bridge and historic sites, become densely packed, and you pretty much can't get into any of the wonderful museums and when you want to check out some of the Renaissance art. And I suggest you visit in late autumn. Number 5, Reykjavik, Iceland. With 17 tourists per local, Reykjavik crowds into 5th place on this list. Known for its beautiful nature and its rugged landscapes, Iceland boasts some of the most stunning waterfalls, blue lagoons, extraordinary glaciers, and those active volcanoes. So you can imagine most people want to visit, surprise surprise, during the summer months, between June and August. And that's because the weather is at its mildest, so it's understandable. But May and September are the ideal shoulder months. Up next on this list is Rhodes, Greece, the largest of the Dodecanese islands. Now, Rhodes is known for its ancient ruins, the stunning beach resorts for families, so it's easy to see why they gave 21 tourists per local. Lined with medieval streets and palaces, you can get history and stunning beaches all in the same location. But trust me, I recommend that you visit in the months of April and May to avoid the peak holiday season, because on top of all the crowds, you'll find that there are much higher prices. Taking in 3rd place is the medieval architectural wonder of Bruges. Now, this is a small town with a big reputation, and coming in with a whopping 21 tourists per local. It draws in the crowds that start in late May through most of the summer, and all the tourists cram into the city and enjoy the stunning architecture and those picturesque canals, because that's the reason why you would visit. As well as holding the status of being a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it's a must-visit city. But the best time to visit would be in autumn. Number 2 is Venice. With small streets and narrow bridges, it makes sense why this city always feels overcrowded. It has a complicated history with over-tourism. The yearly amount of tourists has a huge strain on its infrastructure. And one of the main issues is because of the day trippers that usually come from cruise ships. So apparently, stopping over for a few hours doesn't really have any economic benefit for the city. So of course the city banned cruise ships. But Venice will always require daily tourists to make reservations, pay a fee to enter the city. So I recommend September to November. Very romantic time of the year. And finally, number 1, the city that takes the prize, Dubrovnik. The most overloaded city in Europe, with a whopping 36 tourists for one local. Known for its stunning orange rooftops and its feature in the famous Game of Thrones. So having a relatively small population, Dubrovnik kind of sees a mass amount of tourists during the summer months, especially during July and August, and where the prices are even more expensive. So I recommend that you visit in early April and late September to mid-October to beat the crowds.
So folks, what do you think? Are you planning on going to one of these cities in the summer? Because I will say good luck. because they are absolutely rammed to the brink of total madness, where you can't even get a seat at a restaurant, especially Dubrovnik. So the prices are crazy, it's just crazy crowded. I mean, what's the point? There are plenty of other moments during the year where you can visit those particular places. There were 20, but I just didn't want to make that video. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the channel. I'm preparing quite a different month, lots of vlogs, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So thanks for watching, as I said, and I'll see you all on the next one.